So to conclude this module, let's review the brief history of SEO. So SEO really got started in the mid-90s, just shortly after the launch of the commercial web. And the first search engines at the time were fairly primitive. The most popular one was AltaVista, and the main way that they determined whether or not a page should be ranked, of course, was something called the meta keywords tag, which was a tag that you could include in your web pages that users who viewed your web pages didn't see, but it was a tag for search engines, and within those tags you could list the keywords that you wanted your web page to appear for. But of course that was open to abuse, especially that users themselves couldn't actually see that unless they viewed the source code of your web page, which was very unlikely. So the quality of search results wasn't that great. 1998, Google came along and they completely changed the way that search results were determined, because they ranked web pages not based upon the meta keywords tag largely, but largely based upon links. And that is backlinks to a page and what it said within the link text of that link pointing to your web page. So backlinks and the text within those links were a significant part of Google's algorithm to begin with, and indeed still remain to this day a significant part of Google's algorithm. However, Google have had to bring in many more things to its algorithm to deal with various cheats out there who want to try and cheat their way to the top of Google without offering a high quality resource for their readers. So that started off really in 2005 or so, with Google looking at spammy link networks and reciprocal links. But they brought in something called domain relevance and authority, which meant that it was easier to rank a page on a website with a higher reputation. So that makes sense, and this really was the bedrock of Google being able to compete better with Twitter, because it meant that, of course, if you published a web page fairly recently, just in the last few days, but on an authoritative domain that Google already trusted, then Google was more willing to rank this content highly. So then it became more easily to get fresher content ranked, and Google were confident that this fresher content was likely to be good, even though it didn't have that many links to it. 2009 or so, it started bringing in social signals as part of its algorithm. Now, no one's quite sure exactly what size of a role this plays within the algorithm, and indeed there are thought to be over 200 elements in Google's algorithm now. So anything from on-page factors to off-page factors, there's so many different elements, and we'll cover more of that later on in this course. And of course, over the last few years, we've got semantic SEO and mobile SEO. So what is semantic SEO? Semantic SEO is SEO with meaning. Google understanding the context of the searcher. So just because they're typing in a phrase doesn't necessarily mean that they're specifically looking for something. So Google try to understand why people are typing in a phrase as opposed to deliver results based upon just the words. It's the context behind the phrase. And that kind of context can be established by location, by whether or not a user's signed in, and what kind of search history they've had before, as well as many more things like the device that they're looking at. And that's where mobile SEO really comes into it. So is your website optimized for mobile? And now, of course, Google are threatening to make web pages not rank through their mobile search highly at all if your web page and your website, in fact, isn't optimized for mobile. So that's a brief history of SEO. We'll get more into different SEO techniques later on in this course, but hopefully that gives you an overview of where SEO has come from and how it has evolved over the years.